Welcome to 30 Minutes with Workroom Tech. I'm Celia Guglielmo, and along with Susan Woodcock, we'll be bringing you this workroom education podcast each month. We'll have links to Susan's blog posts, as well as accompanying videos to help you with your custom window treatment and soft furnishings education. 30 Minutes with Workroom Tech is sponsored by Workroom Tech, and you can learn all about their hands-on classes in Tryon, North Carolina by visiting workroomtech.com. Hi, Susan. How are you today?
Hi, Seal. I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. We're both a little bundled up today because it's chilly. It's
It
chilly in
is.
Philly. I don't know about Tryon.
I don't have a rhyme, but it's chilly in Tryon.
I look forward to this particular episode every year because we get to wrap up and talk about the things that happened in 2025 and talk about some. I know we're a little bit geeky when it comes to certain things, but some metrics on how the podcast went this year and what
Yeah.
everybody liked to listen to.
Yeah, I always find it interesting, and it's fun to look back at the past episodes and go, "Oh, wow, I forgot. I forgot we talked about that."
Right. Well, this is our 106th episode, so
Amazing.
that's a lot of topics to cover. And each month you and I go back and forth. Okay, what are we going to talk about? Sometimes you have something in mind, sometimes you don't, and we kind of throw things back and forth. But we always come up with topics that I think are interesting, and apparently so do our listeners because they're listening and they're downloading them. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone that listens to the podcast. It means a lot. Take time out of your day and turn us on and see what Seal and Susan are up to. Had the most lovely reply recently on Instagram. Somebody sent me. No, I liked somebody on Instagram. I followed them.
Mhm.
And they wrote back, it's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you followed me. I listened to your podcast." And I was like, oh, I had that little moment of feeling like a celebrity, which is so fabulous. And then I went back to ripping out my seams that I
Back
on
to
these book
reality.
covers I'm working on that are so frustrating.
Yeah. I do love when people share with us if a particular podcast has impacted
Yeah.
them, or I do love when sometimes when I'll see people in person. I was recently at a meeting and somebody said, "I listened to you the whole way here." I was like, "Well, then I won't talk to you while we are here because you're probably tired of my voice." and I love when people say, "Oh, that podcast that you and Susan did about," and just kind of pick up on what we discussed. Just I love that it's giving like a springboard to people to talk about different things or to maybe try some things in their own workrooms.
Yeah. And I can look through the years of podcasting and see themes or topics that are of that moment, right? Like
Right.
something we heard at CWC or
Right.
something a student asked. And that's kind of neat too, to sort of look back and remember those moments. And then there's personal things for us, like I might be working on a sample, trying to figure something out in my own workroom. And that turns into part of a podcast.
Right.
Like, why not? Let's share it. And the ones that we have sewing projects are always really popular.
Yeah. And I think to your point, Susan, if we're struggling with something in our workroom, then probably somebody else is too. And
Yeah.
if it makes a good if it's challenging us, then it's probably a good thing to talk about and share with other people. And I think that it helps people to know that even when people like you and I have been sewing for as long as we have, we still have challenges in the workroom.
Yeah. And it's wonderful for me as a resource for students to have this body of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Says uh, I can refer them back to different podcast episodes.
Right.
And the one of the most popular podcasts that I've done since we've been doing 30 minutes of workroom tech was Relaxed Room and Shades.
Mm-hmm.
People still are watching that and finding it for the first time.
Yeah.
And the information's the same.
Right. But new people need to look at it, or people need to go back and refresh their memory about things. And I think that's one of the really great values of a podcast, is that you can go back and find things later and re-listen, rewatch for those particular episodes that we put on YouTube with video, and just keep learning.
Yeah. And there's a lot of topics I'm seeing with us talking about relationships,
Yes.
and confidence. And those are two of the biggest things I think that contribute to success for our type of business is confidence
Yes.
in the relationships. So there's a whole lot of things in there, and they're not specifically on those topics, but it always comes down to relationships and confidence, and running your business and
Yeah.
having the guts to be a small business owner.
Exactly. And Susan, I also think that it's important, since we have this platform, to talk about some of those things that we don't often get a chance to talk to. When we are in person, some of those opportunities are not rushed, but I think that the Custom Workroom Conference is a perfect example. I look forward to it every year. It's so great to see people, and I do get to have conversations, but they're not always as deep as what we get to do here, because you're in the middle of talking, and out the corner of your eye you see so and so, and oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since last year, and it's the energy and all of that is wonderful. And often I get to sit down in a corner somewhere and chat with somebody for a little bit. But I think that these things that affect our business, like, imposter syndrome and feeling not confident, I think when you and I take the opportunity to talk about it on the platform, I think it's really helpful for people. And those tend to be the episodes that people comment on the most.
Yeah.
I can tell you by numbers what's been listened to the most, but
Okay, let's hear that.
the most that the episode that has been mentioned to me the most is 103, playing the game, using your energy effectively. And I have to tell you, every time I went to type that out in the different places I had to put it, I started to type out efficiently, and I knew that was wrong. And this morning, when I was taking notes about what episodes were the most listened to, it clicked for me. That episode was not about being efficient. It was about being effective. And just because they start with the same couple of letters do not mean they mean the same thing. And it surprised me that it took me that long to have that click for me, because that's part of using your energy, is being effective. We're trying to be efficient all the time, but sometimes we need to not be doing anything.
Yes.
Resting. But that particular episode people mentioned to me the most. But the most downloaded episodes for 2025 were 102, which was the shade system questions. We asked people to send questions in, and you and I and Jennifer White, well, you and Jennifer answered the questions. I just moderated and listened and learned. And the second most downloaded of 2025 was number 95, which was New Year goals and opportunities. And I did love that we talked about opportunities, not just, New Year's resolutions, which, last maybe till February 1st.
That's good, because I need to go re-listen to that one, because I like that. Now my mind's going like, I like doing New Year's opportunities instead of
Yeah,
resolutions.
I do too.
So I'm going to rethink that. I'm going to go
Okay.
back and re-listen to that one. Uh,
Okay.
for the blog, where we send people to listen to the podcast as our blog, the most views on the blog were for the shade systems and questions, which was episode 102 with Jennifer.
Okay.
And the second was sewing pleated ruffles. That was episode 101.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't surprise me that that was a blog visit,
Yeah.
because that's a visual,
Hmm.
more of a visual podcast. So I can understand people wanting to go and look at the notes that you shared
Yeah. And
on
it's a
the blog.
video in that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So
And I love that one because I
I
love
did too. And we've talked about this. I love ruffles. It doesn't fit in with the decor of my house, but I love when I get to make them.
all that's coming back. So it's
Yeah.
one friend.
Hopefully I get to do it for some clients.
Yeah.
The most downloaded of all time, interestingly enough, are episode 60, which was workroom efficiency, number 45, around the corner pillow edition, and number 52, the pitfalls of perception pricing.
That's a good one. I'm glad that a lot of people have listened to that one.
I am too.
Talking to Roger about that for a project I'm working on that's taking me longer than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, how do you feel about charging for all the extra time that it's taking? And I'm like, I hate it. I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But that's my perception of what the customer's thinking.
Right.
I need to get past that and I need to re-listen to that podcast too.
Yeah, take your own advice. So I have a question for you, Susan. How many countries do you think the podcast has been listened to?
I know we have podcast listeners in Europe, so a couple of those countries, and I know we have a podcast listener in Australia. So I would say maybe 7 or 8. Oh, in the United States and Canada. So 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Not even close. 84.
84?
84 countries.
Wow. Wow. Well, hi everybody.
Isn't that amazing?
Carolina, United States.
Yes. I was there is a place on the platform that houses the podcast where it shows a map, and of course the United States and Canada are the most dense, but then I looked and I was like, wait, the numbers of countries goes on to another page and another page and another page. Now so cool. Some of them only have one listen per country, but someone in those countries listened, and some of those countries I had never heard of before. So thank you to those people who are listening. I thought that was fascinating.
That's really cool. Love that.
What was your favorite?
Yeah, my favorite episode from this past year was episode 100. We celebrated our 100th episode, and that was fun because Roger interviewed us.
Yes.
I just love that whole switcheroo.
Yeah.
And and it was funny, and it was just different, and I love the perspective, and felt so good to celebrate 100 episodes. I never thought when we started this podcast, well, I never thought about it. I didn't think about an end game or how many episodes to do or how popular it would be, and what if we'd still have something to talk about 100 episodes later.
Right.
We're still here.
All of the above. And I did love that episode because I feel like we talk about, celebrating successes, but, like, oh, look, that's 100 and move right on to 101. And I don't think we take enough time in our lives to acknowledge those things, what we've accomplished, what our body of work is, how many window treatments we've made. I was recently cleaning up some photos in my phone, and I have an album where I have window treatments, and I have some. And at one point, I really was stunned. And I know I don't have pictures of all of the window treatments that I've ever made. And there are times when I feel like, because I'm not fabricating as much anymore, I certainly don't feel like an imposter, but I feel like I can't claim certain things. And I look back and went, well, heck yeah, I can. Look at all those window treatments and pillows and cushions. And even talking about how many slip covers I've made, I realized I had a couple of slip covers in one file, and I went, oh, I've made more of those than I realized. So I think it's important to celebrate those milestones. And for us to record 100 podcasts, I think I've shared this before, the average podcast doesn't get past 7 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if that number has changed recently, but I remember hearing that a couple of years ago. So that's pretty impressive for us.
Awesome. Well, let's keep at it.
Okay. All right. You don't have to twist my arm. My favorite, I had 2 favorites. one was episode 93, which was live from the Slipcover Summit.
Yeah.
And it was my favorite for a lot of reasons. One, because I got to see you in person. Two, because I got to see other people in person. And I loved seeing what people were sharing or what impacted people during that learning experience, and laughing about like the simplest tool, Jonathan's spatulas that he was
Right.
using to push into the crevices, and
My little regulator.
your little regulator, like just little tiny things, literally little tiny things that make such a difference. And just, it's just different in person.
Yeah.
So to be able to sit face to face with people and record it, and again, get to share even more information. You and I have talked about like that moment when the light bulb goes on and people see something or learn something and go, oh, now I get it. And again, it's one thing to see it on a Zoom screen. It's another thing entirely to see it in person. So I think that was my favorite to record.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one a lot because you squirreled people away and recorded them, and I had no idea what they said. So
Right.
I had to listen to the podcast and everything was fresh and new. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. My second favorite was the caring, sharing, and daring.
Nice. Nice.
I really enjoyed, I love that you came up with that idea. And I love that we got to talk about what we do in our industry and how we support each other, and how brave we are to continue to do what we do.
Yeah, that was also a good way to do a wrap up of Custom Workroom Conference without a literal wrap up of, we had a great time and we met great people. I mean, it's like, of course, we're going to say that every year.
Right.
But that gave a different perspective, and I agree. We're all extremely brave to step out into owning a business and keeping at it, and we have to push ourselves out of our comfort zones all the time, constantly.
Yes. And I asked that question on my podcast about, have you ever considered quitting? And I always think it's just the funniest. I get the funniest responses because some people are like, absolutely not. I'm like, yeah, every day, and then like, okay, but you still show up, and that really says a lot about you. I still believe that for those of us who own our own businesses, we think that you just keep going because we are resilient, and yet everyone is not. And I think that's one of those traits that you either learn it or you have it, or you can't continue doing this. Because if you can't get out of bed every morning and say, yep, I'm doing this again today, I don't know how you continue in this business. And so I do applaud those of us who have continued to do it. I think it's incredibly brave and powerful that we send that message to other people. I'm still here, still making pillows, still making drapes, still doing it.
Well, I was making some notes while we're talking because I'm looking towards the next year.
Yeah.
Right. And this podcast, so this is a wrap up of 2025, but it's also, it's December. And so I'm thinking about what are we going to do different in the new year? Am I going to just do the same path, same thing? That was successful.
Right.
I can just doing the same thing, but I get bored.
Yeah, me too.
And part of my joy is creating new things and new opportunities. So I'm taking notes here. I love to talk more about resiliency and how to find that happy place in your business where you want to keep going every day, even when things go wrong.
Yeah.
And part of that, and we can explore this more in future podcasts, but part of that I think is identifying who you want to work for.
Yes.
With.
Yeah.
And the type of work that you want to do, and connect those two together, and then it's all good. So when you are like right now, I'll be honest, I'm working on a project that is, like I said earlier, taking me way longer than I thought, and it's a lot harder than I thought.
Okay.
But the customer and the interior designer are such fabulous people, and I love doing things for them, and I know they're going to love it, and it's all going to be beautiful. So that part makes the frustration and the time better. And I can keep walking in here every day and getting back to work.
Right. Susan, I'm always intrigued by the idea that we can reframe things, and stepping outside of our comfort zone doesn't have to mean it's a negative thing. It can, we kind of have to acknowledge how it feels in the pit of our stomach. And I remember listening to someone say, fear and excitement are almost identical in how they feel in your body. And as you're talking about like being uncomfortable about how long this is taking you and what you're going to have to charge for it, but it's also, you are creating something beautiful that is going to create a lasting effect for the people whose home it's going into. And yes, maybe it's uncomfortable, or wow, I thought I'd be done this part by today. But that's when we learn. And that's when we say, okay, the next time I have a project that's this custom, because we all know nothing is identical in what we do. But the next time I have something that's this custom, I have to keep in mind, it always takes me longer than I think.
Yes. And didn't we do a podcast about that?
Yeah. I think if we did, we certainly should.
Yeah, we need to go back and listen to that one too. Yeah. And overall, I mean, this in this home, I did the draperies and slip covers and things and pillows over 20 years ago, probably 25 years ago. Okay. So this is a lasting product. I'm not making something that is going to be replaced in a year or two.
Right.
My extra time in relation to how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
And that, thank you. I needed that perspective too, to think about that. So another thing I want to touch on in the new year with our students, with their classes, and our podcast content is having pride in what we do as a trade.
Yes.
I think a lot of people have a hard time being a tradesperson or a blue collar person. And I like to remind people that the plumber is the millionaire, right? So, right. So we can be too. And I think that it's harder in our industry where we're in this really high end interior design industry that's all about beauty and luxury. To also think, well, I'm a blue collar, I'm a tradesperson.
Right.
But I think there's great pride in that. I'm seeing a shift in that in the world. And other countries already value tradespeople and craftsmen and artisans and small business owners, and want us to do that too. And it has to start with ourselves. We can't expect other people to respect us if we don't respect ourselves first.
Right.
So that's going to be, people are going to be seeing a lot of that from me this year, especially with Custom Workroom Conference, of really honing in and focusing on our trade. And there's fewer of us than there are of them as in designers and homeowners and people that want our products.
Yes. And every time I've heard you say that, Susan, it like clicks a little bit more for me in how valuable we are and how we need to be reminded of that fact. And you're right, the plumber is the millionaire, and they don't go in and say, oh, this might be a lot of money. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. It is a lot of money.
You need a plumber.
Yes.
You don't necessarily need pillows and window treatments and
exactly.
You need the plumber, okay?
But we need to be compensated properly for the work that we do and the beauty that we create.
Yeah. And we need to be proud of our profession.
Yeah.
And being a sole proprietor, running your business out of your home, all of those things are something to be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to build your business to be outside of your home and have employees where you're more managing than in the workroom, that's an opportunity as well.
Yes.
But that doesn't take away from the value of the other people.
It doesn't. And I have seen over and over where some of the designers that I have worked with have deliberately chosen craftspeople who are small businesses,
Absolutely.
whether it's the cabinet maker that they choose or the lighting person who is not a chain store, but has one location and will bend over backwards to get everything delivered on time. Those, I'm seeing a lot of that in my area. And I'm seeing people appreciate, I'm seeing designers in particular appreciate that they have a more one-on-one relationship with the small business owners. If you use me to make your window treatments, you're not getting passed off to someone else. Yeah. Someone else isn't going to say, oh, I don't know the answer to that, I'll get back to you, and then not getting back to you, because if it's not in my head, I have it easily accessible. So I can answer you while we're on the phone together and not, I'll get back to you. And I think that's a really important reminder to those of us who are, I don't want to use the word struggling, but being challenged every day to run our businesses.
Struggle.
Yeah, it is a struggle.
It's a struggle to get up and get out of bed and get out the door sometimes.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's the struggle is real, Seal.
It is.
I'm going to make you a needlepoint pillow.
The struggle is real. Yeah, I try to use.
The older I get, the more I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want to do this. I don't want to get up.
And I try to use positive words where it's going to put a more positive spin on things, but it's really okay to acknowledge sometimes, yeah, it's a struggle. It is. And the older I get, the more I need longer sleeping time. So yes, it's harder to get out of bed.
Well, I mean, isn't that the best thing about having a best friend is that, or, your girlfriends, and where when you're complaining about stuff like that, they're like, I know it's a struggle. Yep. It sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fix it for you. Like, well, if you went to bed earlier, or well, if you planned your day, well, if you used AI to write your stuff.
Yeah, those are not my friends. Those are not my friends. My friends are going, oh, that sucks for you, Seal. I'm sorry. Let's go get a drink and talk about it.
Maybe that's a podcast episode. Everybody send us what you want us just to say. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I like that idea, because we do keep it positive here, Susan. But
we keep it positive, but that would be funny, actually. Yeah. What's your advice for this? I have no advice.
Don't do it.
It's just lousy. I'm sorry, you're there. You'll get through it.
Yeah. And sometimes that is the answer, Susan. We just have to get through things. Yeah. And sometimes there are jobs that we finish and we look at it and say, never again. But the one positive thing is I learned something, and I learned I will never do that again. Yeah. And that's okay too.
One thing that's always positive, always fun, always learning is doing this podcast with you.
Absolutely, Susan. I look forward to it. I know we've kind of joked like we can't stop doing the podcast because we still need to get together at least once a month on Zoom. Even if we don't record it.
I know, we'll just have to get together. So it was great to see you in person for the Slipcover Summit and CWC. And so now I'm like looking at the year going, oh, do I have to wait till September to see Seal in person again? I hope not.
I think we need to figure something out for sooner than that, because it goes by quickly, but not quickly enough. That's way too long in between visits.
Yeah, we just opened the call for instructors, call for speakers. So right when I published it, it was like click. People started sitting in class.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
I love seeing what classes you pick, because I know that's a challenge for you every year. Sure. because you get a lot of great topics, and you have to look at what's been taught in the past. What do I want to continue to offer to people? But I'm amazed at people's creativity. Yeah. And I'm also touched by what they hear from people and say, oh, this needs to be taught. And I'm gonna be the one to do this. And by the way, that's brave too.
Oh boy. Yeah. Teaching's very brave.
Yeah. It is not for the faint of heart to be standing on an auditorium stage and have your tech things not work properly when you are in fact teaching tech
I know.
or to see people who have taught other tech classes come in and sit down in your class. So you know what? I survived that. And so can any of you who are thinking, well, I'm not really a teacher, or maybe my topic isn't important. Maybe it is, and you should submit it.
Yeah, I have a lot of people ask me, for one thing, what do you want? What classes do you want? And I'm like, I don't know yet. I need to see the whole body of what's been submitted.
Yeah.
So I can't say, of course I want a window treatment class and I want a upholstery class. So submit more than one topic. That gives you a higher chance of being selected. And I also get people asking me, what are you looking for in a teacher? I've already had people email me going, I've never taught before, but, I'm like, well, what I'm looking for, or what makes a great CWC teacher and teachers here at Workroom Tech, are people that are not a solo act. Like they like being more part of an ensemble where they can shine, but they're shining just and encouraging each other.
Yeah.
So the people that are more solo act and not really doing a whole lot to bring other people in are not going to fit in well. And you have to be open-minded and let things might not be perfect. Your room might not be perfect. The temperature might not be perfect. Your AV might not work right off the bat. What you plan to wear, or you might spill something on it. I mean, you have to be open-minded and able to let some things go and not worry about what people think. And so that makes a good teacher. Just, to be your best, but not everybody's going to like you. But at CWC, pretty much everybody likes everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. I've never heard a negative comment about a teacher or a particular class. I think that people are kind and they are thoughtful about the fact that someone was brave enough to stand up there and share what they know. And if it's not perfect and they're not a perfect presenter, that's okay, because they still shared.
Yeah, people are so generous.
Yeah.
And we are, for CWC, and I'm not speaking for any other conference organization, I'm just speaking for us. We are all peers. So I want to choose people that are actually working in their workrooms every day or working in their business. And it might be social media or something, but they own a small business.
Right.
So it's not professional speakers that we're hiring or a paid promotion.
Right.
I just want people that are generous with sharing and want to be part of an ensemble. And that's what makes a great teacher. So it's not about how many times you've taught it or if you've ever taught before. Of course, we love having the rock stars of the industry that have been around for a long time, but there's also really, really want new people.
Yeah.
We have to continue to bring new people in. And last year we had a couple of new teachers they're our future stars.
I agree with you.
Gosh, they were like walking around with like a halo of light around them. Like, whoa, these folks are hot. And I hope they submit to teach again.
Yes. I will say that one of the things I learned at CWC this year was from Carrie Culberson. I took her course, and she was a first-time teacher at CWC, and she was so relaxed. And if she wasn't, she's really good at faking it. But there were also a few things where people like threw some things out or asked questions, and she was not afraid to say, I don't know. Let's do this, or let's check that. Or she had some beautiful samples, and someone said, why did you do this way? And she said, she had an answer. She says, I'll try it a different way next time. And her openness and how willing she was to say, I don't know. Yeah. And it just, my class was later that day, and it really centered me and went, oh, I don't have to have all the answers. And in fact, someone asked me a question. I said, I don't know, let's look it up, because I can't know everything. And I actually think it helped people to see where they could go to find some information. So I think for people like Carrie who are fairly new in the industry, that doesn't mean you should not submit a class. You should.
That's a perfect example of being someone that wants to be part of an ensemble
Yes.
where they're not above everyone else, right? I'm here with you. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'd love to try that.
Yeah.
That puts you in equal footing with everybody else in the room. And, whether she did that intentionally or not, I think that's she is because
Worked
she's
for me.
fabulous. But yeah, so many of our teachers do that, and that's what I look for. I really want people that are just like, part of the group, right?
Where community is as important as
Community.
what you're teaching.
Yeah, community. It's all about sharing in the community. And,
Yeah.
people are teaching there, even that are not teaching. People that are
Yes.
are constantly teaching and sharing. And we get this same thing happen here at Workroom Tech. I learned so much from the students and the other teachers that are here because let's just like the Slipcover Summit. Sure, there were 4 people there that were leading the slipcover projects,
Right.
but we were all learning from each other and all participating and all chatting and
Learning about products that
we
people
didn't
like.
have, although Jonathan could be put on a pedestal, we didn't have Jonathan Bennett up on a pedestal with a spotlight on him.
He could be, indeed.
And as flashy as he may be on the outside, he's so down to earth.
Yes.
And inclusive. Everybody, wants to be inclusive and that we're all just learning together. It's great. Anyway, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah, we could. And the one thing I want to say about Jonathan is he has a really wonderful way of hearing from someone, this is how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people get some insecurities when they're at things like this, like, well, I thought I knew better how to make a slipcover. Now I'm watching Jonathan and and people, well, I do this. And Jonathan is always one of the first people to say, there's more than one way to do it. This is what works for me in my workroom.
Yeah,
and
this is the look. He's going for this really tight fitted, it looks upholstered look.
Yes.
I'm going for a looser,
casual, more casual.
Yeah, more casual. You can take it on and off look. So all of us love seeing each other do things differently.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes, it really is. So I have a question for you, Susan.
Yeah.
Is there any one thing about this year in particular that stands out for you?
You didn't prepare me for that question.
I did not. It occurred to me while we were talking, and I'm not sure I have an answer. So there you go.
I think that what I talked about earlier is, and especially to the trade, and I know a lot of people don't work to the trade. They maybe don't understand or had bad experience or want more control over the project. But I really think that this year I've realized the value of that relationship with the interior design industry, with interior designers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was from going to Paris. When I went to Paris in January, and we did a follow-up episode about that. And I was meeting American interior designers in Paris and fabric companies and trim companies and all from around the world. Everyone that found out that I had a trade school was blown away, and they were so excited to talk to me. And I was so validated.
Yeah.
But I had to go to Paris to get that.
To feel that. Yeah, that's really interesting.
And it changed my year, and it changed my focus. And then when CWC came around, I had dinner with a group of to the trade workroom owners to talk to them about their experiences and why they've chosen to be to the trade. And again, it comes around to relationships and valuing yourself and respect. And you have to work with people that want you to be successful.
Yes.
So if someone, and one of the things with a newer workroom owner, she said, what do you tell people, a designer, when they call you and say, what is your per width panel price? And I looked at Julie Tome. I said, when was the last time anybody asked you your panel price? Because I can't remember.
That came up in her class, and
Yeah,
she said no one asks.
it was probably 1995 or something.
Exactly.
Somebody asked me my preferred with panel price, and I said, sorry. So yeah, that's not someone who values and wants you to be successful. Or
Right.
maybe it is, I don't know, but the interior designers that I want to work with and that make my life great want me to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
They want me to have a good living.
Yes.
And take vacations and be happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I think that's what this past year would be the biggest light bulb for me, was learning that working as a trade person has high value, and there's people that are good partners with that. What about you? Since you asked me, I'm going to toss the ball back to you.
So I was trying to listen and not think while you were talking to yeah, I shouldn't ask a question if I'm not prepared to answer it myself.
Right. Sure, you don't have to answer it.
No, I think for this year in particular, I think I really tried to work on my listening skills. Again, no pun intended on what I just said. I enjoy the conversations I get to have with you, with other industry people, with the fact that I get to talk with people on my podcast. You and I have said more than a few times recently, it's not about me. And it would be easy for me to make the podcast about me because I'm talking to that person for the first time. And I love that people welcome me and enjoy our conversation together. But I really want to learn more about them to share that, not for them to hear my story for the 15th time. Every once in a while, I think, oh, how many times have I said this on the podcast? People are not going to want to hear this again. But I'm having this intimate one-on-one conversation with someone, and they may not know that about me. So it's the listening, it's the not making it about me, and I'm also really proud of the fact that I completed the 2025 Pick a Project Challenge during the calendar year of 2025. I did not make the deadline, but I did finish it during the calendar year, and I finished 2024 this year too. I'm working. I am actively making time to be in my workroom to try things and do things, and that's making me very happy.
Yeah, I love doing that. I have a couple of, I think, exciting Roman shade fabrication ideas.
Ooh.
And I got all the parts to try. And I am telling myself, don't you dare start on that until you finish this project customer. I have a lot, and I have a lot. I probably said yes to too much to have ready before Christmas.
Okay.
So I'm like, January, Susan, you can work on your Roman shade ideas.
You mentioned getting bored. I do this frequently. There's a project that someone very mistakenly told me to get to when I can. Do people not know me, Susan? I don't understand this. But I have something I want to work on, and I will have to remove that project from my work table.
Oh.
So I have challenged myself to say, get this done, and then you can work. It's not for a client. It's not a deadline.
It's on your table. It needs to get done.
It needs to get done, and I need to be finished with it and be glad that I finished it, because I will be, and then I can do other things. So yes, I am stopping myself from doing something fun until I get this project done.
Well, this coming Friday, so we're recording this on a Wednesday. This coming Friday, Lori Medford and I are having our annual CWC and Workroom Tech Christmas party.
Nice.
Which, I don't know. We have the whole day. I know we're going to Costco. That's what I said. Is it okay, Lori, if part of our Christmas celebrating is going to Costco? Because need some things. And it's, for us, we don't have anything like that near us. So it's right. Quite a drive to, I do it like twice a year. So
and you two are wild.
I'll report back. I think we'll have a nice lunch or something. Yeah.
Well, I hope the two of you will kind of look back on this year and think about Lori does such an amazing job with the vendor show and keeping calm and just answering the same stupid question over and over again and making sure everything works when it's supposed to at the vendor hall. So I hope the two of you have a really nice holiday.
It'll be fun. We always have fun.
Yeah. Well, it's always fun to wrap up the year with you, Susan. I'm looking forward to talking in January and talking about what our opportunities are for next year. I have going to be I'm spending December getting ready for 2026 and making some plans and changes for next year. So we'll get to talk about that in January.
Well, good. And me too. And hope you and Bill and your girls and their husbands and fiancés and everyone has a lovely Christmas and New Year's. And I will see you in January.
Thank you, Susan, to you and Roger too. And I hope everyone out there has a really restful and wonderful holiday season.
And thank you to everyone for listening.
Yes, thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye. I love doing these recordings with Susan. First of all, because I get to spend some time with Susan. Secondly, because I really love looking back at the year, what topics we've covered, and how some of you have responded to them by the number of times a particular podcast was listened to, or by the comments that we get from each of you. We love hearing from all of you after we've had a podcast go out, just to hear what your take is on some of the things that Susan and I are speaking about. We hope that the end of this year, 2025, finds you well and you get a chance to rest with the upcoming holidays. And we look forward to more podcasts in 2026. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great day.